Hey everybody, Maddox here. Welcome back to Poke Historian. This is the show where we take a look at some of your favorite Pokemon cards you know, and hopefully some that you do not know. And today, we're going back to the end of the 90s to look at one of my favorite Pokemon cards from the second set of Pokemon cards ever made. So let's go ahead and flip her around and see what we're working with today. We have the Clefable holographic first edition card from Jungle. So let's go ahead and talk about Jungle. Second set of Pokemon cards ever. So that's quite the monumental release right there. Came out on June 16th, 1999, and it only had 64 cards. So by today's standards, a very, very small set, but back then we made it work. We didn't know any better, and 64 cards was fine with us. It really took the world by storm because when this set came out, us kids didn't even know that a second set of Pokemon cards was coming because we didn't have access to information like we do today. The set just kind of came out and everybody was just in shock because we were used to just having those same old base set cards. And all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, we got more Pokemon cards with Pokemon that weren't in base set? Like, heck yeah, sign us up. I remember my first exposure to Jungle was my neighbor came over and he told me he had some exclusive cards from Japan that he wanted to trade me, and it was a bunch of Jungle common cards. I didn't know any better. And he conned me into trading these Jungle common cards for my Gyarados holographic card for base set. And when my dad found out, he was very, very upset with me. He had just bought me the theme deck that had that Gyarados card in it. And, you know, what are you going to do? You live and learn, right? Everybody's got a trade story from growing up where they got conned. And that one is probably my biggest one. Anyways, let's take a look at the artwork here. We got Clefable standing up on this rock in a forest clearing, most likely using its metronome ability since it's got its hands up on its head here and it's wobbling around. Beautiful, beautiful artwork by Mitsuhiro Rita. Like, that was the other thing about like this era of Pokemon cards during like base set, Jungle, Fossil, and a couple sets thereafter. Like, there weren't a lot of Pokemon card artists, so the artists that we did have, like Arita and Himino, like really had to carry the sets, and thankfully they did and gave us some really timeless illustrations like this Clefable here. And really, like, Jungle in general just had to be a success, because if Jungle hadn't been a success, like, we wouldn't have Pokemon cards like we have them today. In fact, we probably just wouldn't have them at all. Anyways, let's talk about the variants of this card because there's a lot of different versions out there. So first and foremost, there's the holographic version of this card, which I have right here, and there is a non-holographic version. In addition to that, there is a holographic pre-release version of this card that has a pre-release stamp that would go right here. And then if you look at the bottom left-hand corner of the card, we have the first edition stamp because Jungle cards came in first edition variants and non-first edition variants. And then another interesting aspect of Jungle, as you can see here at the bottom right-hand corner of the frame, you have the Jungle set symbol, which of course is this giant flower. And there was actually an error at the printing facility where some of the cards were printed without the set symbol, so that's another variant. So for Pokemon card collectors, there's really a lot in Jungle to go after, even though there's only 64 cards, because there's so many different variants. Like, Pokemon was trying a lot of new things back then, and errors were being made, so definitely a very fun time for collectors. And then if you look at the attacks here, we got Metronome, which of course is the signature attack of Clefairy and Clefable. You got Minimize. Down here at the right-hand corner, you can see the star indicating it's a rare. And you can see this is card 1 of 64. And there's Mitsuhiro Arita's name. So yeah, that's the Clefable from Jungle. It's always going to be probably my favorite card from the set. The set also has a few other cards that are really sought after, like the 3 original evolutions, Jolteon, Flareon, Vaporeon. Those cards are also worth checking out. But I always thought this was like the best artwork from Jungle, which is why I like it the most. And just wanted to share it with you all because for us that were collecting back then, like, it was just a really important time in the Pokemon TCG. And this card always brings back a lot of memories for me. Anyways, that's all I got for today. If you like this video, feel free to leave me a like. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel. And let me know what your favorite Jungle card is down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.